Welcome to another mini training module sponsored by Marketing Strategy Management. Today's topic is a big picture perspective for marketing excellence. Let's just launch right into it. This is what I call the big picture perspective. The purpose is to illustrate how the value chain fits into the big picture. Since I've talked about the value chain in another module that's available at marketingstrategymanagement.com, I won't discuss it again in this one. Instead, I'll focus on the considerations that surround it. First, we'll look at the inputs that are fed into the value chain. These typically represent a cost to the business. Next, we'll look at the outputs. These typically represent our product and service offering. And finally, we'll look at the outcomes we hope to achieve with the outputs. These represent the goals and objectives of the business. Let's start with the inputs. They're comprised of people, technologies, facilities, and processes. Let's take a brief look at each of them individually. People involve two main considerations. One is staffing, and in particular, the kind of expertise we'll need to achieve our business objectives. The other is organization considerations, particularly as it pertains to organizational structure. Will it be a flat organization or a tiered one? How will boundaries be drawn between functions? How will different functions interface? There's a lot to consider when it comes to this aspect. Technology can be quite complex in its own right. There's a question of what technologies will help us to achieve our goals and objectives. And because there's probably going to be several competing technologies, we'll need to do a cost-benefit analysis for each. Some will cost more than they deliver. Others will deliver their weight in cost. Another influence is how they'll be deployed within the organization. This has become an increasingly important and critical decision. Will it all be handled in-house, or will it be done through something like cloud computing, or perhaps some combination of the two? This is where the cost-benefit analysis takes center stage. Facilities present its own challenges. In Delivering Happiness, a book about the startup of Zappos, Tony Haidt reveals an early decision to locate their warehouse in Kentucky and keep their headquarters in San Francisco. They were also going to outsource warehousing and shipping. This decision turned out to be disastrous. The company responsible for assuming this function couldn't handle it. As a result, Zappos had to move its headquarters to Las Vegas and relocate its warehouse there as well. The question of centralized or decentralized can be as tricky as any you'll face. Processes is another big one. They can involve workflow processes and business processes. Process redesign is always worthy of consideration if it can improve efficiency. Now let's move to the outputs. They involve responsiveness, joint use, and reuse. These outputs represent the products and services we're selling, and they also reveal the way we're managing our costs. Responsiveness is about filling needs and addressing motives. If we do this phenomenally well, we'll delight our customers. This is, of course, an ultimate goal of any business enterprise. Joint use is about pruning inefficiencies. This will help to reduce the business costs. It can be accomplished through three main activities. They are consolidation, standardization, and automation. In many cases, such as an ATM, all three are working together. There's a blog post about joint use at marketingstrategymanagement.com. We'll also explore this subject more deeply in future posts and modules. Reuse is about using something over again. Reuse should not be confused with recycling. Recycling breaks something down and creates something new from it. Reuse is about using something over again, either for the same purpose or for a new one. Paper clips are commonly reused in an office environment, and buildings are often reused as well. Many companies have begun to engineer their product parts so they can be reused in future generations of their products. This coincides with the notion that there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, or in this case, a part, if you really don't have to. And sometimes reuse is about using something for a different purpose. It's easy to underestimate the power and value of reuse. There's a blog post explaining reuse at marketingstrategymanagement.com. The outcomes represent what we hope to achieve with the outputs. They involve value fulfillment, revenues, and profits. We've talked about value fulfillment and creating value in another module at Marketing Strategy Management. It is the perceived benefits relative to the price or cost. If we do this exceptionally well, we'll possibly experience growth. And this, of course, is the great and good thing that every business tries to achieve. There's a lot of information about creating value at the Marketing Strategy Management blog. In this graphic, I've combined revenue and profits. Revenue is the money we generate from all our activities. Profit is revenue minus expenses. A not-for-profit might call this surplus revenue. Either way, it will be smaller than the revenues. So now we're back to the big picture perspective. And this concludes our current module. For more information on this and related subjects, visit marketingstrategymanagement.com. That's marketing-strategy-management.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.